So let's say we had the expression 1 plus 6 times 8. And I told you to evaluate this expression. So how would you evaluate this expression? Well, there's actually two ways of doing this. You could do 1 plus 6, which gives you a 7, and then multiply that answer by 8, right? So when you multiply 7 times 8, you'd get 56. How about if you did 6 times 8 first? So how about if you evaluated 6 times 8 first and then added the 1? What would that give us? Well, 6 times 8 is 48. And then we have the 1. So we get 1 plus 48, which gives us 49. As you can see, these answers are different. To avoid this difference and get the correct answer, we use something called BEDMAS. BEDMAS is a mnemonic or a short form that helps us remember the order of operations in mathematical expressions. Okay? So it helps us to remember the order of operations. So BEDMAS stands for, the B in BEDMAS stands for brackets. The E stands for exponents. The D stands for division. The M stands for multiplication. And the A stands for addition. And S is for subtraction. So this is the order in which we carry out our mathematical operations. So we do everything in the brackets first, and then we take care of the exponents, and then we do division and multiplication. So division and multiplication actually have equal precedence. Okay. However, we have to perform division and multiplication from left to right. Okay. And you'll see what I mean by this in later examples. Okay. And the last step is to do any addition or subtraction. And addition and subtraction also has equal precedence, but we also have to do this from left to right. Okay. So let's look at an example. Let's say we had 2 to the power of 3 minus 3 times 8 minus 6. Okay, so there are a bunch of operations that we need to do in this expression, right? We have a subtraction, we have multiplication, and we have some exponents. Okay, so thinking back to BEDMAS, we need to take care of the brackets first. Okay, so where do we see the brackets? Well, the brackets are right here, right? So that means we have to do everything that's in the brackets first. Okay, so we have 8 minus 6. So 8 minus 6 is 2. Okay, and then we have the rest of the equation. So the next thing to take care of is the exponents. So as you can notice, we have an exponent on the 2 here. We have 2 to the power of 3. So 2 to the power of 3 just means 2 multiplied by itself 3 times. Okay, so 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2, 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 to the power of 3 is 8. So we have 8 minus 3 times 2. Okay. So now we have a multiplication and we have subtraction. Well, BEDMAS tells us we have to take care of our division and multiplication before our addition and subtraction, right? So that means we have to multiply the 3 by the 2 before we can subtract the answer from the 8. Okay, so we'll have 8 minus, then 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, and then the last step is just performing the 8 minus 6, which gives us a 2. So the answer to our problem is 2. So let's look at another problem. So let's say we had 12 plus 6 divided by 2. Okay, so in this problem we have an addition and we have a division, sorry. So we have an addition and a division. So what do we have to do first according to BEDMAS? Well, we have to take care of the brackets first, right? B stands for brackets. So we have brackets right here. Okay, so we have to do everything that's inside the brackets. So we have a 6 divided by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, so we have a 3. And then we have our 12 up front. So now there's nothing much left. Now we can just go ahead and add the 12 and the 3 together to give us 15. Okay. So let's try another problem. Let's say we had 20 minus 4 divided by 2. So how do we do this? So going back to BEDMAS again, just to remind you guys, brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So we have a subtraction and we have a division, but BEDMAS tells us we have to do our division and our multiplication first. Okay, so we have to divide the 2 by the 4 first before we do the subtraction. So what is 4 divided by 2? Well, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, so that's that answer, and then we have a subtraction, and then we have a 20. So now we can go ahead and do the 20 minus 2, which gives us 18. So that's our final answer. So let's look at one last problem. So let's say we had 60 divided by 5 multiplied by 4. How would we do this? Okay, so we have two operations, right? We have to do a division and we have to do a multiplication. But which one do we do first? Well, remember in the beginning of the video I said division and multiplication have equal precedence. That means that one is not preferred over the other. Okay, however, when it comes down to this problem, we have to do whichever comes first, going from left to right. Okay, so even though they have equal precedence, we have to perform them from left to right. So this means that we have to do the 60 divided by the 5 first before we do the multiplication. Okay, so again, BEDMAS tells us that, so we have no brackets, we have no exponents. So next, BEDMAS tells us we have to deal with division and multiplication, right? And I said that they have equal precedence, but we have to perform them from left to right. So that means we have to do 60 divided by 5 first, and then multiply that by the 4. So what's 60 divided by 5? So that's 12, and then multiplied by the 4. So 12 times 4 is 48. So 48 is our answer. So just one thing to note. Let's say we didn't follow the proper rules of BEDMAS, and we did it from right to left instead of left to right. What would that give us? So instead of performing 60 divided by 5, we did 5 times 4 first. So that would give us 60 divided by 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, so that would give us 60 divided by 20, and 60 divided by 20 is 3. So notice how these two answers are completely different, right? So if you did not follow the correct rules of BEDMAS, you would get 3, when in fact the correct answer is actually 48, according to BEDMAS. So let's practice another question, but this time involving addition and subtraction. Okay, so let's say we had, let me just clear the screen. So let's say we had 5 minus 4 plus 7. So let me just write out the BEDMAS acronym again. So we have no brackets, We have no exponents. We have no division. We have no multiplication. All we have in this problem is addition and subtraction. So similar to the problem we just did, which one do we do first? Well, addition and subtraction it has the same rules as division and multiplication. They both have equal precedence, so we don't prefer one over the other. Okay, so addition and subtraction have equal precedence. Okay, however, we have to perform them from left to right. This is the key. Okay, so even though one is not preferred over the other, we have to perform it from left to right. Okay, so that means we have to perform 5 minus 4 first, and then add the 7. So 5 minus 4 gives us 1, and then adding the 7. So 1 plus 7 is 8. Okay. It would be wrong to do 4 plus 7, and then subtract that from the 5. Okay. If we did do that, just to show you guys, if you did 4 plus 7, well, 4 plus 7 gives us 11, right? So we would have 11, and then we would have a minus sign, and then a 5. So then we would get 5 minus 11, which is negative 6. Okay, which is not the correct answer, because it doesn't follow the rules of BEDMAS. So the key to remember here is division and multiplication come before addition and subtraction. Okay, but division and multiplication have equal precedence. So you can do either one first, however, you have to do it from left to right. Okay, and same thing with addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction have equal precedence, but you have to do it from left to right. Okay, and this left to right rule only applies to division and multiplication and addition and subtraction. With the brackets and exponents, you do them as you would regularly. Okay.